What's up, everybody? My name's Parker Ament.
My name's Danny Ferrari.
And it is drum and bass season, baby. So today in this video, we're gonna be making some drum and bass, but we gotta decide like what kind of drum and bass you wanna make.
There's like genres of drum and bass.
There's a bunch of genres.
Okay,
dude.
Hold on. There's like 2 genres of drum and bass.
Dude, we're gonna get into like another genre debate.
And I'm gonna look like an idiot.
The people are gonna get mad, dude. The people are gonna get really
Can I tell
frustrated.
you what genres I think are in
Yes.
drum and bass?
Tell me your favorite genres.
So there's drum and bass,
Uh-huh.
right, which is drum and bass.
Yeah.
And then I think jump up.
Jump up, yeah.
And then
yeah.
liquid, which is like melodic drum and bass.
Yeah, yeah.
Or is that melodic drum and bass?
No, dude, you're nailing it.
There we go. That's it. I nailed it.
Yeah, that's great. Love jump up. Jump up is my favorite genre of drum and bass, hands down.
Yeah, I like jump up too.
But it's kind of like a new genre if you think about it. When I first started getting into drum and bass, I loved jungle.
Wait, I thought jungle was like 128. The jungle's old.
Yeah, jungle's very old. It's kind of like 90s, you know?
I thought jungle was like club-y or something, but you're saying it's more like 174. Drum and
Yeah,
bass.
it's still
okay.
quick. So
Okay,
it's essentially, it's kind of like hip hop, you know? Like hip hop started by like sampling old records, but instead of just sampling it and then rapping on top, they sample it and then speed it up and turn them into like amen breaks. That's where all the breaks come from. So like jungle is super heavy bass.
Gotcha.
Super like complex drums, and then like the sine basses are just very simple. It's got like, you know, UK vocals on top. I personally love Shy Effects. Have you ever heard Shy Effects?
No.
He's like what really got me into drum and bass back in the day.
Nice.
And then I started getting into more of the heavy stuff. So yeah, some of my favorite artists is like Noisia. I also like Pendulum. And I'm really loving Hedex right now.
He's sick.
All right, so let's pick a genre, dude. Let's do like something like jump uppy, something melodic. We gotta have some melody, something heavy. We gotta go heavy. Should we just go over some drums?
Yeah, let's show you. We can do some drums from the brand new pack that we got coming out, XENO.
Yeah,
guys,
let's do it.
Super excited about it.
We got a bunch of really cool stuff.
I already know, dude. Okay, listen. I've been making drum and bass for about 20 minutes now.
Okay.
I already know. Let me
All
tell
right.
you, okay?
Tell me.
So you got your classic, that's like jump up drums,
Yep,
right?
yep,
And then
yep.
you have your amen break, and then there's just like a mix of both.
Yes.
Those are 3 types, am I right?
Pretty much.
Okay, cool.
Pretty much.
All right, sorry. Had to jump in there and just
I
let you
love
know
it, dude.
I'm educated.
We got the drum master over here, dude. What am I doing over here?
Yeah, dude, you'll get there.
Let's do the first one. So basic drum and bass. Let's hear what that sounds like. Just super simple, kick, snare. We've got the hi-hats.
Right.
We've got the vibrations on the table,
vibrations
dude.
on the
You know what I'm
tapes.
saying? Keeping it real. The next example we have is more of like a kind of jungly drum and bass. A lot more movement. It's a lot more complex. So let's listen to that.
So this is jungle.
This is like modern jungle.
Okay.
Modern
okay.
jungle.
All right. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of subdivisions. You don't
Right.
know where the kick is going to come in. There's not a lot of kicks.
Right.
The kick is just kind of like holding down like where the 1 is, or
Gotcha.
just kind of to bring you back in. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That's like the basis of like a jungle beat.
Okay.
You know? Those are made from just basic amen breaks. This is like something from our archives. This is like one of the classic famous drum and bass amen breaks. That's one of the most famous. It's like overused everywhere.
Yeah.
But like it's cool to overuse it. Like,
Yeah.
that's the style. Essentially, those are just sped up funk drums from like old vinyl records. You know
From
what
like
I'm
the
saying?
70s and shit?
Yeah, and that's how drum and bass was like played live during shows. It's
Right.
Like they would just be speeding up breaks, finding breaks on vinyl, and then looping it.
And then it would create that character, that vinyl-y sound.
Yeah, that like vintagey sound.
Yeah.
So, and we actually made some breaks in our new XENO pack, which is really, really sick. We kind of nailed that kind of like artifacty sound, you know?
Yeah, these are sick.
We had a ton of fun making these break loops. And like, usually when I find drum and bass packs, they're just recycling old breaks that everybody has.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Same with like hip hop kits. All the hip hop kits are the same
thing.
Kits just regurgitated into a new pack. We don't do that at Excellent.
No,
you know
we try to actually make we try to fuck up our break loops like for real, to make them sound like real.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of like the main elements of the drum and bass drums.
If you guys cannot wait to get this project file and much, much more, join our Patreon link down below and receive a project file just like this one, along with access to hundreds of project files, remakes, samples, and presets. Supporting us on Patreon helps our channel to deliver better content and more often to you guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and a big shout out to all our patrons. You guys know who you are. And if you don't know who you are, click the Patreon link down below and get a ton of exclusive sounds, serum presets, project files, and much, much more. We will see you on Patreon.
All right, let's start with the drum loop and let's start producing, dude.
Perfect.
Okay, so now that we got a drum loop, where do you like to go?
I like to start the drum loops, like sometimes I like to have like a little bit of groove in the intro.
Okay.
And I think it'd be cool if we like maybe put like a little bit of like a band pass on it and then have it sort of come in like really nice and big. But first, I think we got to pick a melody, don't we?
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so let's jump into getting a melody.
Now we got a sick melodic loop. We got a sick drum loop.
Yep.
I want to put some other drum loops in there, some amen breaks, some of the stuff from the pack. What's our favorite part, dude, when it comes to the break?
Talking to the king of it, baby.
The king of what?
The king of Reese's, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Reese's Pieces,
Woo!
baby. Let's talk the Reese bass, okay? The Reese bass it's used in so many different genres. I don't know if it was invented in drum and bass, but it was actually by, it's named after a guy named Reese, DJ Reese, right?
Yeah, the artist.
And it was apparently made on a Casio, right?
Yeah.
So the first thing that I want to show you guys is just how basic a Reese can be, especially with drum and bass. So we're going to show you guys some Reeses that were made in the starter pack that have movement in them. Those I'll like pick out, but like when it comes to like a basic, just sort of undertone Reese that I want to use, then I'm just going to do something like this, okay? So this...
All hail the Reese King.
Thank you guys very much. You're welcome. A Reese, just a basic Reese, especially for drum and bass, is literally something as this, okay? So if you guys were to open up Serum or any other thing, and you essentially do a saw wavetable with 2 waves of unison, and essentially the detune either at halfway or a little bit more, what this does is this actually creates the speed of the Reese when changing octaves, right? Because these 2 waves of unison, when you're detuning them, they're essentially separating and they're causing a lot of phasing. If I just hold basically, let's just hold down like a D. Wow, 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 that phase. Now if I go up an octave or change notes, that speed is being determined by this detune, right? That's the phasing and the cycles of those actual saw waves that are essentially speeding up because the notes are going higher. Now, if you want to just make the basic sort of Reese bass of all time, literally just do a low octave on a saw wave, 2 waves of unison, put the detune about halfway. The speed of the actual depending upon where you actually hit it key-wise, is determined by where the detune is. And then lastly, just a low pass filter with some drive.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, Danny. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
When you're tuning your guitar and the strings are out of tune and it's getting phasey, it's kind of like that,
That's
right?
it, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I don't play guitar, though.
No, but you're right. And I don't play drums, and that's why I know so much about drum and bass drums. But you were actually right. I was wrong.
How sick is that?
Yeah, and then also, too, a fun trick is just a little bit of portamento or glide, and also keep it in mono. You can even use the key tracking on the cutoff. So those lower notes essentially have less highs and the higher notes have more highs. You can do that as well. That's the basic Reese, just right there for you guys. Super simple. Now in the pack, in the starter pack, what we did is we went ahead and we gave you guys...
Don't show them everything.
No,
just
I'm not.
Show them the starter
I'm going to
first.
show them the starter pack, right? I like Reeses that have movement for you guys so you guys can do cool fills like this. Right? Or... That's so sick, right? Okay. This is free in the starter pack. Link in the description, right? Something that has movement.
Let's call it the Freese.
The Freese.
The Freese.
The Freese. I like that.
Just for you.
Just for, yeah, Reese fun. This is just... It's essentially moving, right? We have some of the same things as what I talked about. You guys can go ahead and grab that in that link down below. And then the actual pack, right? We have a bunch of Reeses in here, which we'll probably end up using a little bit later. Stuff like this, these are so sick. more neuro-y, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Have a little bit more movement. Some stuff like slow moving, you know, other ones too, like stuff like clean. I love those, right?
Yeah.
Those are a couple different Reese's. And of course, we got a ton of one-shots in there as well for you guys in the brand new pack XENO. If you get the drum and bass starter pack, you guys will be able to get set up with that. So I think let's go ahead and choose a Reese, and let's go ahead and get just sort of like a nice undercarriage underneath this melody. Let's do that. Okay, so now that we got a nice little undercarriage underneath that melody, we got a nice Reese bass, we got to get into the next part. We got to talk about the effects in drum and bass, bro.
Everybody forgets about the effects, dude.
Yes.
All of the demos that we get from other people, all the rough mixes, they're always missing effects.
Always.
You know, I've never heard a demo sent to me that has too much effects.
Yes.
Have you?
No.
Never.
Never have too much
That's never
effects.
been a note.
Well, you could, but...
Yeah, you could, but I've never heard it.
Yeah.
Of course,
but what are
you
some
could
type
use
of
those.
effects that feel like drum and bass to you?
I think the classic effects for me is like the dub siren.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. Yeah, dub sirens are stuff like this. Great for hype building. You hear these in a lot of genres too. Those are huge, so we definitely got to put a siren in somewhere in the build, and we got to choose a build loop, bro. Do you want to find us a nice, clean build?
Oh yeah, dude.
Because we got build loops in this pack for you guys, which is going to be super helpful for you guys just to get ideas going.
So before we get to the drop, let's play what we got so far.
Let's see where we're at, dude.
Let's do it.
Dude, that sounds sick. Great start. Almost as good as Crawley. Actually, might be as good as Crawley. This,
dude, yeah,
yes.
no, Crawley was sick. This is really dope too.
Yes.
I'm really into this. Okay, so what are your favorite like drop sounds
when it comes to drum and bass?
When it comes to drum and bass, like,
okay, it depends on what type of drop we're doing. I'm definitely gonna want to go with like a Reese somewhere, like a cool Reese fill
for sure.
And then if it's like a jump up style, like maybe like a frog bass, or
I
like,
love the frogs,
or a Belgium laser,
yeah,
right?
Dude.
Or a lead melodic bass.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many different ways that you can go about it.
We like heavy shit, dude.
We do.
We love heavy
Those
drops.
are heavy.
I know, but like, we like the fucking bass.
Yes,
you know what
we
I'm
do.
saying? Does that make us bros?
Yeah, we're definitely bros.
Yeah, we're definitely
bro step
steppers.
bros.
Let's show them some sounds, dude. The first one is more of like a melodic bass, like
yes.
Subfocus.
I think what makes it melodic is having the second oscillator have a different semitone, right? And having that sort of playing back and forth, and a little bit of movement too, like the womp, 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 womp.
Yeah.
Kind of like a roller bass, but not, you know?
Totally.
Yeah.
So in the pack too, we're calling them lead basses.
Yes.
Because I don't know what other people call those.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Melodic bass.
Yeah, but they're really important. They definitely have
super important.
2 oscillators, and they sound heavy, but they're also melodic. They're very, very useful in those sort of melodic drops, and even in, because drum and bass has a lot of melody in it sometimes, even in the heavier drops.
Oh, for sure. Next up, we got the Belgium laser.
Ooh.
They're very squishy. They're like wet,
yes.
squelchy sounding, dude. Definitely one of my favorite sounds in drum and bass.
Yes.
And it's very bro of me. I know.
Hey, I like them too.
Are you judging me?
No.
It feels like there's a little bit of judgment.
No, because they also get a little triplety, which is also very bro, and I really appreciate that.
Bros are all for the triplets.
They love the trips.
They love it,
yeah.
dude. The other sound that's really cool that I like is the frog bass. It's kind of similar to the Belgium laser, where it's like wet and squelchy, but it's got more like throat, I guess. It's like a lower tone, I feel like.
And all these presets are in the actual starter kit that we're giving away for free for you guys. So we have 25 serum presets. These are all in there. Yeah, the frog bass is like
sick.
ribbity.
This is kind of like a toad.
Yeah.
You know? Reminds me a little bit of like snailsy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
Definitely.
like more like metallic.
And springy.
Yes, springy. And then the last is the classic bass roller. I love the bass rollers.
Yeah. And you know what we need though, Parker? We talked about these, but we also didn't cover a heavy sound, and I want to go ahead and make one for the people at home right now, okay?
Okay, it's gotta be heavy.
It's gonna be heavy.
It's gotta be bro-y.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
So one of the demo tracks that we did for the mashup for XENO
Yes.
was something that was very similar to like Hold Your Color.
Yeah, I love that.
Shout out Pendulum, shout out Noisia, that remix right there. We're gonna go ahead and show you guys how to make that type of sound right now. And then if you guys want, when we're done with this, you guys will get the project file. But let's go ahead and jump into making that type of sound. Let's go ahead and show it to you guys real quick. So the type of sound that we're talking about is something like this. Oh. And that's all happening inside the preset, which is super sick. So the first thing that you gotta do is you guys gotta go ahead and use this wavetable. Okay, so if you guys wanna make a wavetable like this, we're gonna kind of show you how. It's actually pretty simple. Okay, so we're gonna try to make this type of wavetable. And if you listen to it, you can hear it just sounds like an FM wavetable. Right? There's nothing going on. It's just playing this. Okay, so if you want to make something like that, what you want to do is you want to go ahead and get like for sure like a sine wave, right? So I'm going to go ahead and add a sine wave, and I'm going to use a pulse width wave. Okay, and what I'm going to do there is I'm going to make this super long LFO, and this long LFO is going to be cycling through this actual FM knob right here. So if I go ahead and hold down a note, right? And then if I add a filter to it, like so, the reason why I'm doing this is because I want variation in the wavetable, right? In the wavetable position. And you'll see, even when I do this, it's still not gonna come out great because Serum's algorithm still kind of sucks when it comes to this stuff, right?
Yeah, it's interesting.
But if you make your own wavetable, you wanna have movement. You don't wanna just get one single cycle. You wanna be able to have a wavetable that sort of cycles through, right? But essentially what you do is start up just like a simple FM, maybe no unison, and then just have it sort of cycle through with maybe a filter and cycle through an FM with the octave like 2 above. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and resample A and B to stereo. So that's gonna resample this output into a wavetable. It's gonna put it back into oscillator A. If you do that, you're gonna end up with a wavetable that sort of looks like this. And let me go ahead and turn this off for a moment. I'm gonna turn this up and I'm gonna turn this back down to 1. And if I cycle through this wavetable, watch. Okay, and what you can kind of do is you can go ahead and go into the wavetable editor and you can process these and probably do stuff like morphing, crossfading, which is going to crossfade all of those wavetable movements into one to try to sound like one smooth movement, right? Yeah. And then if I match the wavetable, sorry, the LFO that we have for this patch, and I sort of drag this down, I'll give it 2 waves of unison, match the detune where it's supposed to be, and then use this LFO. Something like that, right? And if I go ahead now and use the other wavetable that we have, which is right here in the starting patch, we get something really similar. It's really that simple. You can hear the characteristic is there. It's just essentially an FM. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's done. It's hard to remake wavetables exactly how you did them because we just do them and we just make a bunch of them. But that's how you do it. It's not that hard.
Take that and smoke that.
Yeah,
nog,
smoke that
dude.
nug, right?
All right?
FM
all you haters out there.
Yeah, we just created FM in a wavetable and use the wavetable position as now. So as the cycles to the wavetable, we have FM, and now we can add another oscillator, which is going to be this oscillator, this basic shapes, this triangle shape, right? Okay, so now that we got that, we got our first LFO doing this, and we're gonna go ahead and initiate oscillator B. We're gonna go ahead and set that to 3 waves of unison. Make sure it's on a triangle wave, set it to +2 on the octave and +3 on the semitone. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. We're gonna use FM from the noise. We're gonna use the noise and we're gonna use ARP white. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and make our second form LFO, which is gonna be kind of like this. So this oscillator is gonna essentially be coming in a little bit later than this sound. This is kind of something really interesting, which we haven't really done before. I'm gonna go ahead and set this to trigger, and I'm gonna set it to 1/8, and I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the level knob of this triangle right here. It should be sounding like this. You hear, that's it right there. I'm also gonna go ahead and apply this LFO to the noise oscillator. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that, and I'm gonna set that to 46. I'm gonna set the pitch to 9, and I'm gonna put the key tracking on. The mix of this +3 and this at 0 is really what's kind of creating some cool movement in that. And then because we were talking about the FM, I'm gonna go ahead and use this same LFO2 right here, and I'm gonna set this on the wavetable position. I'm gonna set that to 17. A little bit more movement. Let's go ahead and initiate the sub. Let's go ahead and put the LFO1 on the level, right? So LFO1 is really just controlling the output of level oscillator A and the sub oscillator. You could do direct out if you want, but I think in this case we have it going in. Let's go ahead and let's add a filter. We're going to use a band filter. This band filter is really only going to be being used for A. This is a really weird and interesting sound. We're essentially only using this filter for just filtering this wavetable that we made earlier. Go ahead and set the cutoff to 96, the resonance to 35%, drive down, and fat to 31. Let's go ahead and put LFO1 on the cutoff. Make sure it's set to unipolar, which is one way. So shift option or shift Windows click and set that to 21. It's just working on oscillator A because look, the light is only on for that. If I wanted it for both, but I don't want that. I just want it on A for right now. And I'm also gonna go ahead and put it on the fat, and I'm gonna set that fat to 24, right? So make sure it goes to 24 for LFO1. Beautiful, you can start to hear it come together. Now, one other thing that we're gonna do before we move on into the effects is LFO3. You're gonna make something like this. Essentially, it's a square LFO. This is gonna control our pitch changing. So once you get this LFO made, what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna set that to bar and set that to trigger, and you're gonna go ahead and apply it to the semitone, right? What this is gonna do is this gonna be able to change the note. So it's starting from +3 and then it's going down to 0. So make sure it's going left. So I can show you what that looks like in the matrix. So if I go to LFO3, yeah, B semitone, that's going left. Look, it's going one way, so it's unipolar, and it's going -7. That is essentially doing +3 to 0, essentially is what we got here. And then what we did is we went ahead and added an actual LFO bus to this macro, which is kind of cool. So we added a bus here and a bus here. And what this does is this essentially changes the height of this square right here. So if I go ahead and bypass these, and I'll show you guys how to do this. It should be pretty easy for you guys. In the matrix, set up macro 4 or any macro you want and set it to LFO bus 1. Make sure it's going one way, and then LFO bus 2, it's also going one way, and make them all the way up. So what this does is you can essentially turn that on and off however you'd like and you see fit. But you see how this is essentially raising that, which is kind of a cool sort of way. It's kind of a fun way to essentially be doing that. And the way you do that, you set that up, is you right click this and you essentially modulate Y with LFO bus 1, and then over here you're gonna modulate Y also on LFO bus 2. Or you do it like I did over here. And then as you have to assign these to LFO bus 1 and LFO bus 2. I know a little bit more advanced, but you guys can do it, just follow along. Let's jump into the effects. What we wanna do for the effects is we wanna go ahead and make some EQ. We're gonna go ahead and use our EQ first. We're gonna set our frequency to 46, our Q to 44, our gain to 4.8. Creates a little bit of a notch right here. Go ahead and set that on the notch selection. And on the right section, we're gonna also set a notch, and we're gonna set the frequency to 48, the Q to 88, and the gain to 1.78. We're gonna go ahead and use the note function, right? This is gonna change where this actual sort of notch is being moved to. We use this a lot, especially in drum and bass. And whenever we change the actual key, it's gonna actually move the frequency knob so that it feels like the resonance is essentially in the right spot. So I'm gonna go ahead and set that on that, and I'm gonna go ahead and bypass that and set that to 100. So frequency at 46, put the note on the frequency, set that to 100. And same thing over here, that's gonna be at 48 and set that to 100. Nice. Now let's go ahead and add LFO2 to the gain knob of this EQ. A little bit of movement, looking really nice. Let's go ahead and add some distortion. Oh, that's really doing it now.
Yeah,
that
dude.
tube distortion really brings that sort of nice sizzleness to it, right? Set the drive to 81 and the mix to 86, and then a multi-band compressor. I'll go ahead and match these because I believe we moved these around. Thrust to 16.6, ratio to 1/8, attack to 90, release to 370.8, gain to 7.2. Oh. Crispy. And then this is kind of a cool trick we've been talking about. Another nog, if you guys like to get high on that stuff like we do, a nice little nug of notch. Go ahead and put LFO1 on your release, and this is essentially going to be adding more artifacts as the sound opens up, and then closing up this release is going to essentially be getting rid of those artifacts. So the very beginning of the sound is going to have a lot of those cool sort of OTT artifacts, and then essentially be getting rid of them towards the end. Oh.
Killer.
And now we're cruising, right? And then lastly, one thing I forgot to do is you got to make sure oscillator A is set to unison of 2, and then set the detune to 0.2. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That's how you make that, right? Let's go ahead and make a drop using this sound. What do you say, Parks?
Let's do it, baby. Thanks for watching the video. The response on all of the drum and bass content has been insane. So much so that we've decided to put out a huge drum and bass pack. If you guys want to be the first to purchase the pack and get a ton of bonuses, join the early access list down below. You'll also get a free drum and bass starter kit, which contains 25 serum presets, loops, bass one-shots, and much more. Sign up for the link in the description. So we went ahead and programmed some really sick drums for the drop.
Let's go ahead and pick a couple more drop sounds, and let's go ahead and let's make a drop and show people what we got.
Let's do it. It's really sick, dude.
Yeah, I'm pretty hyped on this one. Project file will be on Patreon for our patrons. Support us on Patreon, links in the description as well. You guys can get all these sounds for free.
Let's show it to them, dude.
Let's do it, bro. I'm done. Let's play it out, bro. Dude,
awesome.
Second drum and bass banger, bro.
Bro, we are on such a roll right now, dude.
It's because this pack is so good.
I know, dude.
I cannot wait for you guys to get it.
I didn't even know we were gonna do a pack, honestly, dude.
Yeah.
And we just like put all this stuff together.
It's so good.
Oh my God, it's killer.
But like, we know it's really good when how easy it is for us to come up with ideas and videos and just be able to make stuff. And we can't wait for you guys to use this. Definitely go check out that link in the description to get the starter pack for free and sign up for more information about XENO is what we're gonna call it.
Yeah, baby, XENO.
Yeah.
Dude, it's coming up, dude.
Yeah.
It's coming up, and we're making so much drum and bass right now, dude. It's crazy. I'm so excited to show you guys what else we've been working on. We got some more project files for you guys.
Oh, yeah.
We got some more bonuses. We got some more free stuff. I am absolutely hyped.
Yeah. Let us know what you guys think down in the comments down below. We'll see you guys in the next video.
Yeah,
subscribe, like. Let us know what you think. You want a part 2 to how to drum and bass? Maybe we do a specific genre style. We only do jump up next time or something. I don't know.
Maybe we do jungle.
Maybe we do jungle. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah. Danny doesn't know. Maybe we're gonna have to teach you.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much.
See you guys.
Peace.